Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Erin Elizabeth Wernberg. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if it's your first time. Today we have a new moon in Cancer, and so I have your pick a card tarot reading for you. Just a reminder, new moons are about calling in new energy. They're about setting intentions for the lunar month or for your whole life, of course, but just for this next 28-day span, what you want to call into your life, things that new energy you want to bring in, and just connecting to that and being intentional, getting clear about what's working in your life, what's not working in your life. So that's my intention when I pick the cards for you. Of course, if you're watching this at a time when it is not the new moon, there might be a message in here for you. So just when I read the cards, it's going to be thinking about how can you reframe new things you want in your life. So I've inserted a picture of the cards, and we have 3 groups for you today. So you can go ahead and take your time and pick the group that resonates for you. We have group 1, group 2, and group 3, and all the timestamps are below. And when you're ready, I will see you at the reading that you chose. Hello everyone, welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 1. So just as a reminder, new moons are about new intentions, calling things in with newness. So I will frame the reading that way, but of course take whatever resonates for you. So the point of these readings just to hopefully connect you to something inside of you and just kind of push you on the path of some guidance that you need. Okay, to start, I'm actually going to pick a card from this deck just to get us going. Let's see what comes out for you. And again, new moon, we want new energy. So just think about that. Feast on the nectar of life. That's beautiful. So I think this is really saying, if you are not enjoying yourself, it's really good to want to get to that next level. It's really good to want to push ourselves to get to that next level. It's really good to know that we have goals and things that we're working towards. But if you are not taking a moment to feast on the nectar of life, to just cherish your time here, to just be thankful for everything that you have besides just, I'm working and I'm going to get there and I'm going to do my stuff. That's really good. But don't forget to take a stop and smell the roses. Don't forget to, notice your blessings, to enjoy yourself, to treat yourself. And of course, you don't have to do this in like a big, huge, spend a lot of money way if you're trying to save money, or if you can still have the limits in your life that you need to have, but you can still enjoy yourself too. So feast on the nectar of life, just a reminder. You don't have to push yourself into not enjoying your life while you're working towards what you want. And actually, while you're working towards what you want, if you are enjoying your life, then it makes it way easier to stay focused on your path, because you haven't given all your energy away to this thing of, okay, well, once I have this thing, then I'll feel better, right? Okay, so now I'll get into your tarot and then I'll clarify with your oracle cards afterwards. Okay, wow. Okay, let me just, very powerful opening for this group. We have the Empress, the Star, the World. We have 8 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and Knight of Pentacles. All right, group 1, I'm going to go ahead and say you guys have been doing a lot of inner work. Maybe if you felt like in the past 6 months, you've really had to put in the work to get to this place, to kind of elevate your life. If maybe you feel like your healing path or your path to growth has been never ending, that might be coming up for you. So if that resonates for you, I definitely see that in this reading. You have the Empress, the Star, and the World. These 3 cards to open your reading. Okay, and then you have the High Priestess later in your reading. So not only do you have 4 major arcana cards, but you have 4 very divine feminine energy cards. So regardless of your gender, just a lot of divine feminine energy here. So the Empress, the Star, to the World. So I feel like, the Empress is definitely divine feminine energy. This is definitely about owning your feminine power. So it's about knowing when to say no to something, knowing when to when to stop action and just kind of be more of that receiving mode, and being in more of that, like, I can call things into my life, or I can trust I'm doing my part and I don't have to run out and pick up the pieces for God. I can trust that God is going to do the part that God needs to do for me. So very, very extreme feminine energy here. So if you've been doing a lot of work with that, if you've been um, pushing to make something happen, I think this is really saying stop. You don't have to try so hard. You have to trust that as long as you're taking care of your side of the street, things will happen. They might not happen in your time, but they will happen. And part of feminine energy is knowing when to balance. Okay, I don't need to go out and push it so hard. I don't need to go out and try to make everything happen. It doesn't have to be all up to me. Like part of feminine energy is having a lot of faith and trust and just embodying that. And I think that's really echoed here with the star, which is also about like things kind of going on beneath the surface, a lot of like things being brought together for you that maybe some magical ways things have been happening or can come together. And then that going into the world is about cycles ending. So I feel like with this new moon, you can really focus and think about like, okay, how have I been doing a lot of feminine energy things? And now it's time for me to just kind of like let that be finished. Like, you can ask for this new energy of like, how can I take the focus off of doing like the doing part, and how can I be more feminine in my energy? So if there's something you've been trying to make happen or something you've wanted for a long time, something you're waiting to happen, this is really saying, you know, it's time to think about the ways that you can have your feminine energy, but also have that be one part of your life and kind of like focusing that in one area instead of, um, it's about mastering the feminine energy. So knowing that that really is something that's important for you and just making sure, how can you balance this feminine energy? Because feminine energy, again, is about allowing things to happen. It's about not forcing things. It's about praying. It's about journaling. It's about kind of tapping into some of this higher power energy. And then I think with this world card here, it's saying that like you have to do that to get this cycle to end. So to get the thing you want, to have the things you want to have happen, that's going to be the final thing to get it to happen is to like have this world energy of like letting go of the outcome, letting go of the attachment, letting go of if I don't have it by this date, then I failed. So if any of those stories are going on in your mind, releasing them. And then with this new moon, maybe you can ask yourself, can I write myself a new story? Can I choose to believe something else? Can I decide, okay, I don't have to have it right this second. I can just believe, this is coming to me and it's right in perfect time. And I'm just keeping the faith and doing my part and making sure things I want to take care of are being taken care of in that way for yourself. Because when we get into the next part of your reading, you have 3 pentacles in the last 4 cards of your reading. And so with this theme of your reading being the 8 of Pentacles, this, I think, so the first part of your reading, I think, is definitely about mastering the feminine energy part of what you want. So just making that list. Am I praying for this? Have I written out how it's going to make me feel? Am I like controlling what I can control only instead of trying to, put my hands on all this other stuff, right? So really mastering the feminine energy parts of it. And then the theme of your reading is maybe you need to take a little bit more action. So this is the 8 of Pentacles. This is clearly about putting the work in. It's about making sure you're being accountable for yourself and doing what you need to do to make your dreams come true. So this is definitely more masculine energy. And so I feel like with the rest of your reading, maybe you've been with this thing you want to create in your life or this thing you want to have happen, maybe you haven't been taking as much action as you can be taking, which is fine. Sometimes, we have to have a balance, and some days we need more masculine or feminine energy than the others. But this is about saying, okay, well, what action can I take? Even if it is just, a small thing I can do every day, or maybe you've been trying to take action about things you can't control. Maybe you're looking for a new job, and so you like check the job boards every day, but that's not taking action of something you control. You can't control when a company wants to hire someone. What you can control is like your resume, or just talking to people word of mouth, like, hey, I'm looking for this job. Do you know anything that's opening? So just getting clear about making a list for the new moon about what are the ways that you can take action. Maybe you can, watch a video about something you want to learn about, or, how much do you actually know about the thing you want to call into your life while you're working on it. So this card is really about being accountable for yourself, taking action, knowing that you can't control anything outside of you, but that doesn't mean that you can't stop. Like, you can still take a small action every day for something you can control within yourself. And so I think, making that list of, okay, what are small habits I can do every day or a few times a week to get me closer to this thing that I want. And then because what this goes into with the Four of Pentacles and the High Priestess here is I feel like a really big message for this group is don't confuse the masculine and feminine energies. Okay, so this is really saying like sometimes when we're trying to do masculine energy, we can get focused on like the action part of it, but we cannot be clear enough in that part of it for us. So if we're trying to take action about something, we might be too focused on like, okay, I'm going to take action, but we're taking action that's not intentional. And that's how you can merge some of this masculine and feminine energy of like my intention with, looking for a job, looking on a job board, or, looking for a partner or whatever is, I know I want my job to feel like this, and this. So that's merging your feminine energy with your masculine energy. So this is really saying, be careful to find the right balance, because the High Priestess is just like the definition of like feminine energy being a wonderful tool for us embodied. And so with this Four of Pentacles, this is really saying, just get clear about the ways that maybe you've been trying to control things that you actually can't control. And sometimes that's where we can get a lot of frustration from, is we're really focused on like, okay, well, we put all our energy on something outside of us, when it's like, well, can I actually control that? No. And so it's double frustration, because the thing we want isn't happening and we're super focused on it being something outside of us. So this is really saying, know what you can control, know what you can do with that, trust the process of what's unfolding, and kind of use your intuitive hits. This is also really about your intuition, like embodied. So use your intuitive hits. So if you get, an intuitive thing to reach out to this one person that you haven't talked to in a while, or to, check this one job board, or look at this one thing, just trust like the little crumbs that are given to you to push you into like the place you need to go. So this is really about not getting frustrated and like closing down and closing your heart chakra if the things you want aren't happening for you. So just being careful not to get too caught up in that. And with this new moon, you can write some affirmations of like, I trust in the unfolding. I trust that my higher power is taking care of me. I know that I can get what I want. I know I can get there by ease and not by force. So just kind of looking at where do you need to find some balance with your masculine, feminine energies, I think is definitely coming up in this reading, because look, at the end of your reading, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is like an offer. So this is like, you have manifested the thing you want has come into your life, with all of that. So just remember that when you're asking for things that you want, don't just think about yourself, right? So if you say, I really want this job, or I really want this partner, or I really want this whatever, remember that when you're thinking about the things you want, it's not just about me. It's about making sure that when we're granted the things we want, we are going to do something for the larger, greater good, and not just for ourselves. So for example, you can say, I know I have this, and this gift to offer through my work or through my creativity or whatever. And so that's why I want this job. Or you say, I know when I'm loved correctly by a partner, I know we can create like this wonderful thing together. And that's what I want. Not just like, I want this to fill my loneliness, So this is really saying that just a lot of patience energy and just getting really clear on your intentions could be really helpful for this group. Not just your intentions, but also, the ways that you are allowing some of your masculine and feminine energies to be working together for you. Okay, and then we'll look at your oracle cards. Wow. Okay. So, well, this was kind of what I was talking about. We'll start with this one. So this one says love. So I think this is what I'm saying when you're talking about like knowing your intentions and knowing why you want to do something, as long as you're coming from like a love place, coming from an ethical place, coming from like, this isn't just for me, but this is so, of course we want everyone to have like a peaceful, abundant life, but sometimes we can get so caught up in like, I need this and this, and this, that we forget we need to be part of a community. We need to be offering our resources and access to people around us. So get clear about, how would you have God work through you? How would you have these things be part of your life in order to be able to give back and to show up for the world at large? So just getting really clear about what your love message is and what you can offer to people can definitely be very, very helpful with this. And this is again like the heart here. Don't block your heart chakra. Okay, this is what I was talking about with that. Just just open your heart, trust the guidance you receive, and know that that's going to get you to where you want to go. Because, okay, we have this card, we have cultivating courage. So in any given moment, I always know exactly what to do. So I feel like when we're talking about the divine feminine energy here, this is about trusting our intuition. And this is about being like, wow, that wasn't the guidance I thought I was going to get, but let me just try and see what it goes. And when I was talking about, having trusting the ideas that come up, or abundance can start as an idea. So it can be like, okay, I'm going to reach out to this person, and then who knows where that's going to lead me. So trusting that, in any given moment, I always know exactly what to do. Just, you don't need to see the whole big picture. That's God's thing. For us to be able to see each individual moment and each individual step, that's all we're responsible for. And so just having the courage to be able to do that. Because I think these two cards go together. Well, let's start with this one. This one says jump in, adventure, say yes to change. So I think, maybe something that's coming up for you with this new moon is maybe you want something you haven't had before. I feel like maybe I'm getting a little bit of that energy. So if you're trying to manifest or work on something, maybe you have to balance your masculine and feminine energies in a way you never had to before, or maybe you have to think about things in a way you never did before. So this is really saying, you can't, it's not going to happen until you start making it happen. So just really mirroring this masculine energy of like, okay, take the first step, and then discern and use your masculine feminine energy balance of like, okay, I need to like pray today, or I need to take action today, or I need to do this today, but I need to do that today, right? So finding the balance. But this really is saying, I feel like the first step you can take today, right now. That's what this card is saying. It. So let's go. Just start doing it. Jump in. Because look at this. I'm worthy of my own love. So beautiful. And I think, this love card that came up too, I just want to echo again, when we're being of service, that's because we're honoring what's in our own hearts, and we're honoring like, okay, these are the things that make up me, and these are the things I can offer the world. And so knowing that, like, if I'm worthy of feeling like that, then I know I can give that to the rest of the world as well. Service isn't depleting yourself. It's knowing that I love myself so much that I want for everyone else all the peace, love, and abundance that I'm like working on cultivating within myself. And so how can you offer that to the world? And I honor how I want to feel. Very beautiful. Same energy, just like knowing that you don't need to minimize the guidance you're getting, or minimize any of this like really intuitive energy that has probably been coming forward for you, that's I'm picking up very strongly in this reading. So I honor how I want to feel is just don't push yourself into thinking you have to do a certain thing to be worthy of these things. The things you want to create in your life. It's just like knowing that if they're in your heart, like God put them in your heart, and so trusting that. And last one, I can always reach for a thought that feels better. So I feel like if you've been feeling frustrated or feeling like, overwhelmed with this process, a lot of times when we're trying to really create something else in our lives, we can feel overwhelmed really easily. We can feel taken advantage of. Maybe we can feel like, oh my God, I'm never going to get through this. So even if the thought you reach for yourself is just like, I have faith in the plan that I can't see right now. Like, even if it's just calming yourself down. So it doesn't have to be like, sometimes people think with affirmations, you go from believing something to its complete opposite overnight, and that's not how it works. Sometimes affirmations can just be like affirming yourself to like breathe and be calm and trust that the process is unfolding exactly as it should. And just remembering like you don't have to keep buying into the fear thought. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I can't trust myself. I don't know. Just stop those ones, and just, this again doesn't have to be like completely 800 thoughts away, but it can just be, I can always reach for a thought that feels better. Even that could be the affirmation. Like, I feel out of balance right now. What's a thought that could make me feel calm right now? So even it's just, I'm going to take this one day at a time, or I have faith that my higher power is looking out for me, or I give myself permission to trust my intuition. So anything like that. Okay, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much. Happy new moon if you're watching this on the new moon, and just thank you for watching this if it's not the new moon. If you want any more information about me, all of that is linked below. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hello everyone, welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 2. So just a reminder, this is a new moon. So the reading is going to be thinking about ways that I'm going to talk in ways that encourage you to think about new energy you want to call in. But if you're reading, if you're watching this at any time, know that there is a message in here for you, and you can just trust, how it resonates and what gets activated or becomes clear for you. Okay, I'm going to start by picking one of these cards for you just to start off our reading. This one fell out, so let's see. Listen to the inner voice. Very beautiful. So maybe for this new moon, if you want to spend some time meditating, journaling, just deep breathing, just not trying to put a lot of pressure on yourself, but knowing that our inner voice always has a message for us. It's always communicating with us. It's just sometimes we're not still enough to listen to what is being shared with us, or we don't like it, and so we don't want to hear it, right? That's also fun. No judgment, I've been there. But just trusting, take a few minutes, listen to your inner voice, have some peaceful energy within yourself, trust yourself, and just know, you don't have to do anything with what you hear if there's some resistance or you don't like what's being shared, but it is important to remember to listen to your inner voice. Okay, so I'll start with your tarot and then we'll end with your oracle cards like always. Okay, so 9 of Cups. Couldn't think for a second. 10 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles. Page of Wands. 3 of Cups. 6 of Wands. And closing reading with the Hanged Man. Okay, so I feel like you're coming out of something, group 2, that was pretty fulfilling for you. So it could be that you just reached a business goal. It could be that you are, you just finished a course or university or a class. It could be that you are at a good place in your relationships in your life. Maybe you just hit a new fitness goal. I mean, I don't take it how it resonates, but with these two cards together, 9 of Cups is a wish fulfilled, and then 10 of Pentacles is like abundance. So I feel like you set this intention for yourself. You decided this is the thing I'm going to work on. This is the thing I'm going to do. And you just kind of put your head down, put the energy in, and then you got it. So that's definitely represented here with this. 9 of Cups is just like sitting there, like I said, wish fulfilled, being really proud of yourself, just being like, I did it. I made it through. I know what I'm doing. And then the 10 of Pentacles is clearly, it's about abundance, right? So we can see that, it doesn't have to be these things in the card, but it can just represent these feelings of, I did it. I put the time in. I did what I had to do, all of that. So maybe with this new moon, just first of all, taking a moment to be proud of yourself and taking a moment to be like, I did that and I put the work in and I made it happen. And, a lot of times when something is finished, we want to focus on the next thing right away, that we don't take a moment to be proud of ourselves and be like, yeah, I did that. Look at me. I did it. I'm amazing. Like the end. So this is first message for you. So just taking a moment to just be proud of yourself, say thank you to yourself, to acknowledge all that you've done, definitely is going to be helpful for you. And then where we're at now with the 7 of Pentacles, this is, again, Pentacles are about abundance, not just physical abundance, but abundance from ideas, abundance from what we want to do next, abundance from connecting to our inner voice, our higher power, all that. So I feel like you might be at this evaluation stage or just coming out of it. If we look at that going into the Page of Wands, where you've kind of thought about like, okay, what is the next thing for me? Kind of looking at, I did this, and this thing. I'm proud of myself. I have all these accomplishments. I'm taking some time to kind of take a moment and pause and be grateful for them and look at all I've done. So if you haven't already looked at your achievements with these, this is about, taking a moment, taking inventory, being proud of yourself, looking at the ways that you have created a lot of abundance and clarity in your life for yourself. So knowing that this isn't just like, you don't just complete something and then go right to the next thing. This is about being proud of yourself, honoring yourself, holding space for yourself, knowing that you put in the time and effort to make these things happen. And, of course, there is a higher power assisting us in things, but our higher power can assist us if we're not being accountable and doing the things that we have access to take care of to make that happen in our life. And then when you take that inventory, so I think with that new moon, just things like really take some time to be like, I've accomplished this, this, and this, and really take some time to be proud of yourself, and then be like, what do I want in my life now? What is going to be fulfilling for me next? Where do I want to go? Maybe you're at kind of like a shift in your life, you're at a place where you want to change things, or you're ready for the next adventure, or you want, to shift your life path. Maybe you're at a transitional time in your life, because the theme of your reading is the Page of Wands. So this is the card in the middle. So this is about um, just examining a new idea, new energy coming in, just getting like trying something new and trying that next. It doesn't have to be like completely new, but it could just be the next thing that you're meant to be doing. So really with that new moon, I think just dream big, just get really clear about what is this thing that you want? What is the next thing that maybe, you put in the future of like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this in 5 years or 10 years or whatever, but it's like, okay, well, is it time to do that now? And or is it time for you to hold space for yourself to be like, okay, now that I can, even if it is like a few years away, what can I do now that I've accomplished this thing and I'm taking inventory for myself? What can I do now that I've done those things to kind of like plant some seeds or begin to take more clear action to get to this thing that you want to have happen or you want to create in your life? And it could be anything. It could be a job, could be a romantic partner, it could be starting a family. I mean, anything like that. But just getting clear about what is this thing that maybe, it's been in the back of your mind and you're not really sure, but you want to set the intention now that it's time to either start working directly on it, or it's time to start accessing that energy, like from, ways that you can touch some of that stuff. And so I think this is really, I think for this group, it really is about this opening card that I pulled, listening to your inner voice, and just really don't be shy about your dream. So again, maybe it could be, well, I'm not old enough, or I don't have enough experience, or I am too old, or I have too much experience, right? So whatever the stories are coming up for you, I think really listen to your inner voice and really honor what's your wildest dream. What is what you want to have happen? What seems like it couldn't happen, or you missed your chance, or it's not time for you, or anything like that. This is really a lot of that energy in the reading is coming up. And then because from there, I mean, these last three cards is just like, it's going to bring you so much joy, right? So we have the Three of Cups, Six of Wands, and then the Hanged Man. And so I think right up when you think about that idea and you think about what you want, going right into the Three of Cups and the Six of Wands, this is really just talking about like, this is about celebrating with a community. This is about spending time with your friends. So making sure that you are continuing to have joy in your life, even as you work towards these things for yourself. So this is about just making like partying, basically just being proud of yourself and having people to celebrate with you, instead of just feeling like, okay, well, I can only do this and this thing, and it's not gonna, just this is think about the abundance that's possible for you. Think about all the things that could happen for you. Think about all the ways you can celebrate and be celebrated by people who already love you. And then because you have this beautiful Six of Wands, which is also about celebration, it's also about being proud of yourself. It's also about knowing that, like, don't get so focused on, well, I'm ready to start this next big thing and I feel, but I'm upset because I didn't do that thing yet. Well, it's like, okay, remember all these other things that you have done. And remember, there is no arrival in life, right? As there's always another thing. There's always something else. There's always more. There's always more. So if you aren't taking some time to celebrate and enjoy your life, and you're trying to be like, well, let me just push myself harder and push myself harder and push myself harder, that is not the energy to get you to what you want to do. So I think with this new moon, if you want to just write down and think about, what are some ways I can celebrate myself more? What are some ways I can allow people to support me in my life? Even if it's just one person, but I'm sure you have more than one person in your life. But if you don't, you can set the intention to find them. But just getting very clear about what are the ways that you can celebrate yourself and allow yourself to be celebrated, and what are the ways that you can give yourself permission to be like, yeah, I did that. I did all this stuff and I'm proud of myself. And guess what? I made it and I'm going to do the next thing, right? Like, this isn't about being shy. This isn't about kind of trying to hide or belittle or, make it seem like you can't do the things you want to do in your life. That's not what this is about. This is about just honoring and being your full self and not playing small, and knowing that that is what gets you to the next place in your life, not being like, oh, I have to get to the next thing, I have to get to the next thing, without celebrating or honoring yourself, or without enjoying your life. We want to have that too. And then at the end, the Hangman. I think with this ending to your reading, this is really just about surrendering to the plan, surrendering to the process. So letting go of the timeline, letting go of any judgment you might have for the thing that you really want, that maybe have kind of talked yourself out of, or didn't feel like you could have, or maybe you think you're asking for too much, or it's not going to happen. It could happen for everyone else, but it can't happen for me. So this is just about surrendering all of that. And with the new moon, what you can do is you can write all those fear thoughts and then reframe them into like more helpful thoughts. So what I just said, like, this couldn't happen for me. And you can be like, me witnessing other people having this means it's almost time for me to have it. So just kind of rewriting those thoughts and surrendering them so that you can be able to kind of let go of playing yourself and let go of feeling like, well, I have to control it, or it has to be this or this way, or maybe not trusting the idea that's coming forward. So this is really about surrender, really about letting go of all the things that you might be like really trying to cling or hang on to, that's just going to block you from getting where you want to go with all of that. Okay, we'll look at your oracle cards. Okay. Okay, so I didn't really see this in the cards, but I'm seeing this a few times coming up in your reading. So if this resonates for you, great, but this is a specific message, maybe it's coming for you. So this is resolving anger. And then it says, conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself. And then this one is, I let go of the shadow of the past by seeing someone for the first time with the eyes of love. So maybe this has to do with someone else. Maybe, you feel like you couldn't have this thing that you want, or this idea doesn't feel super available to you because of a story someone told you, maybe from many, many years ago, that you're still holding on to. So this could be a way to release that. It could be a way to let it go, but this also might be conflict within yourself, right? It could also be like doubting yourself, or not trusting your inner voice, or just like kind of, maybe judging yourself in a way that doesn't hold space for the things you want to have happen. So this can be a really beautiful prayer. I let go of the shadow of the past by seeing someone for the first time with eyes of love. And so you can just ask, like, God, please let me see this person brand new. Please let me see this person brand new. And that person could be you. Maybe if you're saying some stories that aren't the kindest to yourself, right, then that's what we want to have happen. So this is really, again, just about remembering to, it's okay to be angry, because that's sometimes where our anger can be useful. It's where we can see a boundary has been crossed for us. But when you hang on to it, and when it impedes you, and when you feel blocked, that's when you kind of gotta let it go a little bit. So with this new moon, maybe you can write out some affirmations of like, instead of my reaction to this person or these thoughts I have about myself, I want to choose to connect to this type of energy with that, and just kind of rewriting the relationship in your mind, and then setting the appropriate boundaries that you might need to set if it's a particular person, or setting some boundaries with yourself. Okay, I think these two go together. So we have Star Keeper, Cosmic Ancestor, Seed the Light by Staying Grounded. Very beautiful. And then we also have The Void. You can see that. Okay, so both of these cards are about like some really otherworldly energy. It's about, this card is obviously, it says Cosmic Ancestor. So I think these two cards are about just trusting in like that otherworldly power and energy and guidance that we can feel in our hearts, and really getting into like, the void is really that special place where it seems like nothing is happening, but things are happening. And so with this Page of Wands, it's just, I can't emphasize this enough. Whatever dream you're trying to shut off in your heart, stop. This is really saying you have the guidance and support of your cosmic ancestors, of your guides on the other side, your angels, maybe your ancestors, family who has passed away, whoever you feel like is supporting you. You have that guidance here. And then the void is, again, like kind of surrendering that into these pieces of the unknown, or the places where we might not feel the most comfortable or the most clear about what we want, but knowing that that is there for a reason, and it does serve us. And we are able to get to the other side with all of that. And so again, the surrender energy, the void, let go of that. It's definitely gonna be helpful for you. And then this one, I just love this one. It's so cute. What's my big hurry? It's all for joy, all is well. So I feel like sometimes when we are in a hurry or we do want things to have what I was saying before, like there's always something else, there's always something else, there's always something else, right? So really taking the time to enjoy yourself, celebrate yourself. Remember, like if you just say no to having fun all the time, eventually you're gonna like run out of life to have fun with. So we definitely do want to have a balance, but don't get so focused on making something happen or getting another accomplishment or completing something else that you forget to stop and enjoy your life with that. Because look at this last card, I am blessed. So this is again just a reminder to know, like, first of all, what came up in the reading very strongly of just like really honoring all the things you have accomplished for yourself, all the boundaries you've set, all the things you've done, all the things you said no to, really honoring all of that stuff is the first part of the I am blessed. But also with this new moon, sometimes we can get so focused on, okay, I'm ready to like start this new thing. And so we put all our energy over there and then we get really focused on, this isn't, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And we get so focused and upset that it's there that we forget to notice all the ways we are being blessed, all the things we have accomplished, all the things we have that we used to not have at some point. So this new moon, maybe you can take some time to make a list of, these are the things I'm blessed by, or here are some things in my life I'm so grateful I have. And you don't have to write it down if that doesn't resonate. You can just say it out loud or just think it maybe before you go to sleep. But just recognizing all the ways that you do have so many things in your life that maybe you didn't have at some point and you worked hard for and you made it happen, and just really honoring that and really not feeling like you need to belittle your accomplishments just because you didn't do the next one. Because like I said, there's always infinity accomplishment, there's always infinity things we can do, right? That's the amazing part of being human, is there is unlimited growth we can do if we're committed to ourselves. Okay, that's everything I have for you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. Happy new moon if it's a new moon when you're watching this, and happy whatever day it is if it's not the new moon when you're watching this. If you ever want any more information about me, all of that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hello everyone, welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 3. So just a reminder, this is a new moon. So when I read the cards, when I pulled the cards, I was thinking about ways, and how I'm going to read them is ways that you can call in new energy into your life. You can create new things for yourself. If it's not the new moon, then just hang in there. If you chose this group, there's probably a message in here for you somewhere if you chose that. And so I'm going to start by picking one of these cards for you. See what message comes out. Whole and complete. Very beautiful. So if you've been feeling like, something lacking is inside of you, or you've been feeling a little off, or maybe you can't connect to yourself in a way that feels really good, just remember, even in those moments, you still are whole and complete. You still have so much to give this world. You still have so much to offer. And just really honoring that and knowing that there is this abundance inside of you that you can, of course, tap into whenever you want, but also knowing that you don't need to judge yourself or be mean to yourself if you don't feel whole and complete in every single moment. Just remember, you are. It's just an illusion that you're not. And so connecting to that. So maybe one of your affirmations for the new moon can be, I am whole and complete. There's nothing that I need to do to be more whole and complete than right now in this perfect moment. So good reminder for all of us, especially when the ego gets the best of us, right? That's life. Okay, opening reading, we have, I'm going to start with your tarot and then we'll do your oracle like always. So the Lovers, oh, geez. 10 of Wands, Ace of Swords, 4 of Swords, the Magician, 8 of Swords, and Ace of Wands. All right, so 2 aces, so a lot of new energy. Also the Magician, so some like creating energy going on here. I feel like if you are in a relationship or not in a relationship, you definitely have gotten some clarity around what you do not want to continue doing in romantic partnership. Okay, so we have the Lovers into the 10 of Wands. So this is very clearly energy of, maybe you got socialized into being a giver. Maybe you are like an empath. And so you think, okay, well, I have to accommodate everyone else's needs and forget myself. Or maybe I need to, maybe you chose emotionally unavailable people, or maybe you were compromising too much. I mean, you get really clear on the ways that you feel like you have been working way too hard, doing way too much, because there is, um, deep relationships are not conflict free, but both parties are willing to create intimacy and be accountable for themselves in healthy relationships. So if you feel like you were in a place where you were doing so much for so little in return, if you're in a relationship, maybe you like got some headway into maybe ways that you were doing it to yourself. Even it could have nothing to do with your partner or the people that you're choosing to be with. It could, but this also could just be some self accountability here. I feel like this is just really saying you got really clear about the ways that you were buying into some of these narratives that just do not help anyone and do not feel good and do not whatever. And then boundaries. Boom, that's Ace of Swords. So Ace of Swords is about boundaries. It's about cutting things off. It's about being like, okay, we can't be so desperate for love or for a partner or for whatever that we just accept anything. That doesn't work, because first of all, we're not our authentic self. Second of all, a partner is supposed to add to our lives, supposed to make us feel better. They're not supposed to be a fix me project. They're not supposed to be they're giving you mixed messages. I'm gonna like just go, like they're gonna set the tone and do everything, all that. Like if it feels confusing, if it feels off, if there's like this like undercurrent of it doesn't feel good, just pay attention to that, right? So maybe this is about getting clear on what you have tolerated in previous relationships that you don't want to tolerate anymore, even in your current relationship. It could be stories that you're telling yourself. It could be maybe someone treated you poorly in the past and now you're with someone who doesn't treat you poorly, and so but you're still keeping some of those narratives alive, which, no judgment, okay, we've all been there. I've been there for sure. So this is just about getting clear about what don't you want to carry into your current relationship or your next relationship. What boundaries do you want to set? So with this new moon, you could think about, okay, um, you know, I used to rearrange my whole schedule based on my partner, but now I know these are things that are non-negotiable in my life that I am not going to stop doing, no matter how great my partnership is, right? So, or I'm gonna not take it personal when my partner has a bad day and maybe can't super connect with me because they're emotionally somewhere else, or I'm not gonna assume the worst anymore, or just getting really clear about your boundaries and getting really clear about what you can do to set those boundaries and hold space for them, is something. Because look, the theme of your reading is abundance. This is like the portal into the next layer of your life. So as you can see, there is a couple on this card. So this could be that you're calling in this next beautiful relationship if you're not in a relationship, or if you want to be in a relationship, um, having that energy. But if you are in a relationship, this is like getting to that next level of peace, getting to that next layer of um, just what you want to make happen, and what, just like total abundance. This is, of course, sometimes associated with marriage and like, the next layer of the lovers, but this can also be for a job. It can be for just the next layer of feeling like, oh my God, I did it. Like I'm at this I'm at this level of total abundance and feeling good in my life, and I made it. And that's what the Four of Wands is about like the portal to the next timeline, the next place, the next layer of your life. So I feel like bask in it right now. If everything you want isn't here right now, like, okay, that's life, that's just how things go sometimes. But knowing that you do have access to this energy right now, and even going back to the whole and complete card, right? You do have access to feeling like creating some type of heaven on earth, even if this isn't saying that this isn't saying that you're gonna stop working for the things you want in your life, but this is saying you can still take a moment to be like, wow, this is how I feel whole and complete right now. These are the things I have in my life right now that feels good for me and feels like, this is the thing for me, with that. And so if you maybe take a moment, we can do two things with this. So take some time to be like, these are the ways that I have this Four of Wands energy in my life. And then you can think, okay, what are some ways that I don't? And that's not like, you don't want to look at it as like, oh, woe is me, I don't have it. Because again, remember, always whole and complete, right? But just thinking about, okay, if I don't have this, this, and this thing, what do I want to have in my life? Like, what do I want to call in my life to have that? It could just be like, I want a more loving relationship with my body. It could be, I want to feel more in flow and more harmony with my day to day life. Because what we see here, we go right into the Magician after that. So you can have it. That's what this card is about. This is about knowing that you can create what you want, you can have what you want, you can you don't have to play small or dumb it down, or just because you didn't get the things that you didn't want right away doesn't mean that you have to stop asking for them, or you have to stop working towards them, right? So we have an idea of how things want to go, but guess what? We're not in control. God is in control. There's a divine plan that we usually don't know about, and the Magician is reminding us that we do have access to do that type of thing, and we do have access to be able to create that life we want for ourselves, and we can have those things. And when we don't have those things, it's because we're buying into some fear stories, which, again, no judgment. When we have limiting beliefs, it's just because we're trying to protect ourselves, even if it seems backwards, even if it seems whatever, right? Like, sometimes we just have limiting beliefs because we are trying to protect ourselves. So I think, with this new moon, you can really think about, okay, this is what I want, this is why I feel like I don't have it, and then kind of rewriting those fears with this Ace of Wands energy to close your reading. I'll get back to that in a second, but just really thinking about, okay, I have this Magician, I can have what I want. But here, you see with this Eight of Swords, like, there's no one even around this person, and like, she's not even tied up that tight. And it just feels, it's sometimes we can get trapped in the mind of telling the stories why we can't have this, or this thing. And so just getting very clear about, okay, here's my fear stories, and then the new story I'm going to tell myself, the new story I'm going to create for myself, the new energy I want to call in with this new moon is this Ace of Wands. And that really is about, this is what I want, and this is how I'm going to have it. And again, with a lot of that wand energy, I think it's really interesting to see we have like a negative progression in this reading. So we start with the Ten of Wands, that I feel like your energy scattered all over the place, not very clear. Four of Wands, yes, amazing. These are the things I really want. That's what's going on. And then now you can add more. You can add a little bit more. You can get clear about, well, these are the things I do want. This is how I'm going to have them happen. And this is kind of what's coming up for me right now. Definitely with your Ace of Wands here. So if you're trying to play small, or say you can't have certain things, or feeling like, well, it's too late for me, or this dream is too much, you can have it, because you're right on that portal to get to those things. Okay, I'm going to look at your oracle cards now. Okay. So I feel like maybe for this group, there's been a lot of shame, or maybe maybe something happened that it's kind of like casting a shadow over your reality still, that maybe is making you feel like you need to doubt yourself or not feel super clear about yourself. Because there is a lot of energy here about holding, we saw it in the reading, but holding on to that. So, okay, I'll start with these two. So first one we have is Dare to Dream. So this is exactly what I was just talking about. This is about really honoring and paying attention to, what do you want? What do you want to have? Sometimes we think like, again, oh, well, I can't have it, or I can't, whatever. But this is really saying, how to set boundaries. You've already set boundaries in your life. And even if it was painful, it helped you get to this place you want to go to, right? When you're brave enough to say no, then you create space for the thing that is a yes for you. And so this is really about dare to dream, and then trusting the process, and trusting like it is going to happen for you. It just might not happen in the timeline you want, or in the way that you want, but don't feel like you could not ask for something just because you have no clue how it's going to happen. Because with this card, anything I can imagine being, doing, or having, I can be, do, or have. So this is, again, just that same energy of, knowing that it's easy to have it. Once you can have faith that it's happening, then you don't have to get so hung up or so caught up in these fear stories like I was talking about, of just, knowing that you want it. But let me just say this. A lot of people think they want certain things because it's going to make them feel whole and complete. And of course, there's a certain level that we need to have, to do that. But this is really saying, make sure you know why you want it, so it's for the greater good. So for example, this came up in, I think, group 1 too, but just I'm really feeling this energy strongly of like, well, I want to have this job so that I know I can give my gifts of service to the world, right? So if you're focused on, I want this job, I want this job, I want this job, but you aren't clear about, why you want to be, do, or have it, then it's going to block that. So when it's connected to this energy of, this is not just for me, it's for everyone, it's for the greater good, then that is way more powerful than just the individual thing, because we are connected. We are here to serve one another. We are here to show up and be the best that we can for all of us as a human species. So really honoring that. And yeah, so with this one, we have honoring adversity. And the back says, a fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. So I feel like, again, if you've had to say no to something, or you've been kind of pushed off your path, or maybe you have some shame, or maybe some fear stories that are kind of blocking why you feel like you can't have what you want, just remember, a fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. So it's not your fault. You don't need to be you don't need to feel down on yourself. You don't need to feel like hanging over your head forever. What happened happened, and adversity is part of being human. It is part of the human experience. It does help us get to these next layers we want to go to, because we have this card, Earth, learning how to be human in the world but not of it. So a lot of us highly sensitive people can really just be like, wow, why do I even have to set this boundary? Why do I have to tell someone to not disrespect me, right? So there's a lot of things that can feel very confusing, or seem not obvious, or just seem like, what is going on, right? That is definitely part of this Earth card. So if you felt confused, or felt like you don't really resonate with a lot of mainstream narratives of things, that's okay. You are here to help offer a different template for people to see in action. And so just really trusting that, learning how to master the human experience is very, very, very hard. It's really hard to be on Earth. It's really hard to go through the things we have to go through here. And so just really, really honor that part for yourself, and don't beat yourself up if you feel like you're having like kind of a hard time with that, is what I'm hearing. Because look, these last two cards go together. So we have, I follow my joy, and hope is the conduit for miracles. So this is really saying, sometimes we can get really bogged down with like, oh, I had to set this boundary. Oh, I have to rewrite these fear stories. Oh, I have to do all this stuff. But just remember that you can hold some hope and some joy in your life while you're doing all of that. It doesn't mean you have to like everything you have to go through. It doesn't mean you have to, co-sign when people do shitty things to other people. Like, of course, we're not saying any of that. But above all else, you can choose to hold joy and hope in your heart. And that is one of the parts of learning how to be human. It's like learning how to connect to those emotions, even when things feel very adverse, things feel very impossible, things feel very hard. Just knowing our joy and our hope, no one can take those from us. It can seem like they can get squashed down, or, we go through phases where maybe they're not as strong as other times, but your joy and your hope are always, always accessible to you. Okay, that's everything I have for you. I hope it serves you. Happy new moon, or happy whenever you're watching this reading. If you ever want any more information about me, all of that is linked below. Thank you so much for your time and spending your time with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.